Dottore is one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, and the one who readers meet in the Genshin Impact manga. However, he hasn't yet made an appearance in the game, though he has been mentioned a few times. In this video, I'll be going over his history and why I think we may see him in the game quite soon. Also, if you like this video, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot and I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, let's move right on and get into the video. Dottore, also known as the Doctor, seems to only be interested in making enhanced humans, but he has no regard for the people themselves. He also very much dislikes vision wielders, describing them as self-inflated fools. This means he most likely never had a vision himself, only gaining a delusion once he joined the Fatui and became a Harbinger. The story of him becoming a Harbinger is actually one that I discussed last week in the Pale Flame video, but I'll quickly go over a rundown of it here too. Basically, when he was young, he was chased out of his hometown and went to the Sumeru Academia, where his experiments caused him to be shunned by his peers. However, these ideas also caught the attention of Piero, the first Fatui Harbinger, who offered him a position as a Harbinger, which he accepted. Other than experimenting on people to create enhanced humans, Dottore also has an interest in machinery, as seen in the manga when he turned his subordinate Krupp into a machine after he failed him, and as stated by Child during his story quest.
Dottore is another one of the Fatui Harbingers. He loves tinkering with old things. It's a personal passion of his. So, he converted these ruins into a Ruin Guard research lab. I can only imagine that he's gotten bored of playing around with them, and has lost interest in this place.
His interest in machinery is important to my theory as to why he'll pop up in Sumeru, but we'll get into that in the last section. It is also important to note that Dottore was able to kill Ursa the Drake, a powerful dragon who threatened Mondstadt for years. Now, let's get into his appearances in the manga and his role there. Dottore first appears in Chapter 1 of the manga, where he and Krupp are putting test subjects into fights in the Fatui underground arena known as Heresis. When the subject dies, Dottore threatens Krupp, saying he'll make him into a test subject. In an attempt to avoid that fate, Krupp suggests that they go to Mondstadt to take more subjects from the Ludi Harpastum. The two arrive at the Dawn Winery, where they have a meeting with Diluc, Kaya, and Simon Page. Diluc, who distrusts the Fatui's motives, delays the negotiations, which causes Dottore to leave. When Diluc, as the Dark Knight hero, tries to get the truth behind everything from Krupp, Dottore returns and kills his subordinate. After being amused by Diluc's strength, he tells him to get stronger, and then takes Krupp's body, going through with his promise to use him as a test subject. He then leaves Mondstadt, and when he hears about Kale and the Blackfire incident which caused the death of 2 Fatui diplomats, he couldn't care less and left it to another subordinate, Barnabas. After Barnabas is severely wounded in a battle with Kale and Amber, he once again doesn't care. So, to start off this final section, I'm going to say that I believe we will see Dottore in Sumeru. Whether or not he becomes a weekly boss, I'm not so sure at this point. I'd have to wait to see his role in the story. But as for that role, I have a few ideas for him that would lead him to becoming a weekly boss during the Sumeru storyline. To begin, I'd like to bring up that point again about Dottore having a vast interest in machinery, including experimenting on Ruin Guards and turning Krupp into a machine. Now, who else do we know who is a machine and is currently wanted by the Fatui? It would be none other than the 6th Fatui Harbinger, Scaramouche. I believe that Dottore would be very interested in what Scaramouche is up to, and may even want to use the Electro-Gnosis to unlock more of his power. If this is so, it's very likely that he will appear in Sumeru, especially if Scaramouche ends up going there for some reason. Dottore seems to always want to move on from projects that fail, but Scaramouche hasn't failed yet, so he'll definitely want to check up on him. Dottore also attended the Sumeru Academia, and could potentially be from Sumeru, so that could hint more towards him showing up. There's so much more we don't know about him, and even if he doesn't show up in Sumeru, we'll probably get hints about him from NPC dialogue or in the story itself. I have also seen people speculating that he may have an appearance during the Shadow Amidst Snowstorms event, and he may even be the one who stole Albedo's notes. It is possible we'll meet him here, as we did first meet Scaramouche during an event too, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, that is all I have for you about Dottore today. I know this video was rather short, but again, we don't know much about Dottore. If you want to know more about his past in detail, then check out last week's video on the Pale Flame artifact set, where I also go over the past of some other Harbingers. I'm really excited to know more about him, and I'd love to hear all of your ideas too. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.